Chris, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I lost my voice like about 2 days ago checking my son, so you have to bear with me a little bit.
No problem, man. Is
Cool.
my everything
I
on here?
I can hear you. I just can't see you yet.
Oh, all right.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
There we go. How you doing?
Good, brother. How are we doing today?
Good. Good.
Where
Busy
you
day, but
where you calling me from?
North Carolina.
Very cool. A Tar Heel fan by nature, then?
Now I'm from Pennsylvania originally, so and then I worked at Duke for a little while, so I'm more of a Dookie, I gotta say.
Okay. All right. I got you. Got you. Cool, man. So today's call is all about you, man. I just want to get some more clarification on who you are, what you're about, our overall goals. I'm gonna provide some strategies to get you there. Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, my man. So I was doing my research on you. Exercise science professor. Is that still the case?
Yeah. Yeah, well, so I was a professor for about 6 years, and now I'm kind of like a part-time professor, full-time department head now of the program. So kind of moved into more of a managerial role. But then I still probably teach like once a week.
Okay, very cool, man. And are you also still doing some in-person training as well?
Not as much anymore. Like I do, but it's pretty infrequent. It's a few times a month, but compared to what it used to be, it's nothing like that. 16 times a day, it's not that anymore.
I got you,
I
my
don't think
man.
anybody after that many years can do that sustained.
Yeah, 100%. I totally resonate with that. I was a master level trainer for like 15 years and I'm 41 now, and it takes a toll on your body by the end of the week, man, training that many sessions.
Where are you calling from?
I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, so I'm in the Midwest.
I got you. Very cool. What time is it there? Is it like, I don't even
It,
know,
it
11?
11:52 over here. 11:52, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool. How did you get involved with this company? I'm just curious. I have questions too, but just curious.
Yeah, so I was training like 40 people a week, 2 to 3 times a week. And I was working from 4:30 in the morning to about 8:30 at night. And those weird middle of the day hours were open. But my wife was like, "Hey, you got to figure something else out." Like I was making great money. I was charging 150 a session. I had high ticket clients, but I was trading in a lot of my time for that dollar. And my wife was like, "We want to travel more. We want to have you spend more time with the kids." So I ended up having to figure out something to where I could reduce down my hours and then eventually go full time on the online space. So I found this company about just over a year and a half ago. And then when I was on this call, I talked to this girl and I was like, "Man, what position do you have?" Because I've always been good in like corporate sales. And she told me, I'm like, "In a matter of 6 months to a year, I'm gonna have your job. I'm gonna have a position just like this." And so I stayed in contact with them. And then literally she's like now my boss. But I do my coaching company, I do this, and then my wife does healthcare. So we have three streams of income coming in. And it's really not selling when you believe in a product and you know that it works, especially when we're talking about health and fitness. So at the end of the day, that's why I jumped on this program with them. And it's been like a game changer for me and my family. So it's easy for me to just come on here, talk to other trainers, even people that don't have any training experience, to really kind of go over the benefits with them and help them, see that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, what are the typical people that you were talking to? Like me. Who are the typical me's that you're talking to on average?
Yeah, so you're going to not be a typical guy because you have so much experience. A lot of individuals that we talk to don't have a whole lot of experience coming in, right? And some of the ones that I do talk to that are trainers, they have a successful in-person job, but they don't know how to translate it to actual online, because online selling and in-person is a completely different monster, right? Like you could be surviving off of PayPal and Venmo and all that stuff in person. Doesn't work like that in the online space. And so if you can really maximize your overall time, impact more people's lives, but get to do more of the things that you actually like to do, it's a complete game changer for sure.
Got it. Makes sense. All right, let's go.
Cool, man. So why the online space for you?
It's kind of like what I was saying. Like I moved into this managerial role. Like I just run a department now in exercise science. And I feel like I'm wasting some skills that I have. Like I decently know this stuff, and I just feel like I could be helping a lot more people. So that's number one. It was the first thing I was talking with people, and I was like, it just sucks that I can't like like I got into the professor role because I've done the training thing for so long. And I was like, I just want to like, I don't want to do it anymore, but I want to give it to like other people so that they can do it. And then, 10 years later, I'm like, but I still can help. I can still do this. I can still help some people. I feel like I'm just wasting it. So that was like number one. And then two, obviously a side hustle like would be fantastic. And I can't give the time in person anymore, but I could totally still use it online. So that was kind of like the second reason. I was like, make some money online, help some people out. And I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, and doing something that you're naturally good at that you've been going to school for years. It's just, yeah, it's a simple transition, right?
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
why?
So it sounds like we want to be like the most optimal with the time that we do have available. So really, if you want to be really successful with this, and this can actually turn into not just a side hustle, but a lucrative one at that, if you can dictate 10 to 20 hours per week, you're in a really solid spot. If you can't dictate that, 30 to 45 minutes a day will get you to where you want to be. We just need to be more realistic with our expectations as to what type of price points you want to get to in a certain amount of time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say like an hour a day.
Cool. Yeah, that would kill it. So when I was going through it and I was training those 40 people, I was just getting resourceful with my time. So on the commute to the different gyms, I'd pop in a module before while I was doing cardio, popping in a module, lunch breaks. And then by the time I got home, I was just executing whatever it is it told me to do. It was that simple. So yeah, even on days where you think that you might have some time, but you don't, I used to make it up on Sundays. So Sundays for me was a non-negotiable. I wasn't training anybody on that day. I'd wake up early before church, do 1 or 2 hours and before my kids got up, and then boom, the rest of the day was all about family.
I don't know what modules mean, but
I'm going to show you. The modules like the coursework. So it's just like everything is step by step. There's going to be 32 total modules, which we'll show you here in a second. But everything is on, there's a link for it. The modules itself are tutorial style. It also comes with videos. So it goes step by step. So you know exactly how to execute every single thing. Okay. Step by step before you move on to the next. Now, outside of that, what's our financial goal? What are we looking to do? How big do we want to make this thing?
Honestly, not even as big as whatever this promises. Like if it was like an extra $2,000 a month, that would be sweet. Like I don't have any drastic dreams of this being a full-time career. I love what I do. If I could someday drop this gig and move back to being a professor, that would be the best idea. But I'm luckily I'm with somebody that is financially extremely stable. So the financial goal is just icing on the cake. So it's more if I can just find something underneath me and we can work together and I can, $2-3 grand, whatever. That's fine with me.
Yeah, give you some context behind that. Industry averages for the online space anywhere between 250 to 500. Okay, so 250 on the very low end. A guy like you with your level of expertise, I wouldn't charge anything below $400. So think about that. If your average client was $400 and you had, 10 clients, that gets you an additional $4K right there. It happens pretty damn fast.
Is it quick? Can you actually get clients? Like, we teach about online fitness in our program, and like, there's a lot of you guys. You know that, right? Like, there's so many, but there's also a ton of scammers, and we teach our kids to be very good on your research of what companies you want to work for. So a big part of this is also research for me, is like, because I've never done this before. So I need to know, does this actually work, or is this just a way to give a group a bunch of money and then nothing ever comes from it?
Great question. We're actually backed by the Better Business Bureau. So we got a rating of an A out of a possible A+. So I'm sure you're familiar with that, but it's like a report card for legitimate businesses. So all of our wins are on there. All of the complaints are on there as well. We leave the complaints up there as they get investigated. We haven't lost a single complaint. We also have a 3 times your investment guarantee, which means we guarantee you'll 3 times the amount you make during your enrollment period, as long as you follow a specific set of standards, which I'll go over here later. If you hit that, we guarantee you'll 3 times your amount you invest in, or you get 100% refund. So it comes down to you just executing what we have laid out. We're also backed by 3 of the largest certification companies in the world, ACE, NASM, and ISSA. So they view us as continuing education credits as well. We're also partnered with True Coach, which is one of the biggest name players in the fitness space for applications as well. So that should hopefully give you a little bit more confidence with some of those names back there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm working with NASM right now for my department. They're taking on our credentialing body. So
Very cool. So yeah, and I totally get that because there is a million people having claims that they can get you to, 10K. Everyone's kind of posting about 10K, 10K, which is great. A lot of companies will have money back guarantees, but what they won't have is they won't have the 3 times your investment, and they won't have that backing by the Better Business, which is a huge situation for a lot of professionals who want to feel like this is like who they're, jumping in bed with is legitimate, right? That they're going to be safe.
true. I agree with that. Yeah. I guess before we go too much further, I would just like to know, like, what is the average price of this thing? Because if it's something that I'm not comfortable with, there's no point of wasting your time.
Yeah, 100%. That's something I typically go over at the end, but I will tell you this. I'm not going to bullshit with you. It sounds like you're a guy that knows exactly what he wants to get to, and you have something set up in your mind. We have a variety of price ranges. So we have payment plans, which was essentially us putting down a down payment, spreading out over 4 to 6 months. We have paid in full options, which saves you a significant amount of money. And then we also have extended payment plans and financing options. So pending what you're willing or what you're able to in your budget is going to be dependent upon the type of price range I give you. Financing options, we could be getting you in the door as low as, $400. Your monthly payments would just be right around 600. If you're not using financing options, the average individual will put down about 2,300. It kind of just goes depending upon your specific financial situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What's the total price down, like, all at once?
6,500. That would save you $800. The payment plan option is 7,300. The paid in full option is 6,500. So how you can do that is, if you wanted to, I know that you mentioned that you're has a partner that is well off, financially. If you guys are kind of going into this together, or their support helping support you, we could do a paid in full split. Essentially, what that would look like is 3,250 down today. Second half would be due 60 days from your start date. That gives you time to really get some credibility, get some clients, see the process actually working for you. As far as averages go, I know this is not where you want to be at, but the average individual is quitting their job in 10.6 weeks to go full-time with their online fitness business, which is huge. The average individual, it usually takes them about 1 week to get their first client. So the individuals that get their client month 1, by the end of month 4 here, are averaging over 8K per month. The individuals that don't get their first client in month 1, but by the end of month 4, are averaging over 6,500. So just to be a basic mediocre student, you could be expecting to make 6,500 to 8K, which is really good income for the majority of individuals, right? 96,000 and have no experience, it's game changer, right? Go ahead.
I said, yeah, that's huge.
Of the students who do hit 10K month on average, takes them 13 weeks just to do so. Okay, so just over 90 days, a lot of individuals are working themselves into a completely different tax bracket. And we're talking about single moms that had zero experience, warehouse workers, people that are just following a system that's worked, drastically change their lives, right? So we've had nurses transition. It doesn't have to be one of those things where you have to have a lot of skin in the game. It's just you able to execute and follow a game plan and just hold yourself accountable. You'd have an individualized one-on-one coach. That coach has been through 10K mastery level, so they have a 6 or 7 figure business of their own, built off the information in this course, so they're battle tested. You're gonna have weekly, you'll have every 2 weeks, you'll have game planning calls to revisit the game plan, make changes, receive feedback, get specific instructions. We have a sales coach, which majority of other programs don't have as well, help you maximize your return of investment, how to close down those sales calls at a 40% clip or greater. There's a lot of community aspects, a lot of one-on-one touch points to ensure your level of success.
I mean, it obviously sounds great. Like, how much, like, social, is it all social media?
No, so I like to tell people this as well, especially if you're the level of expertise you have. I'm pretty sure you're probably well known in your local community or wherever you go, right? You're known as a guy that knows a lot. So I tell people, think outside the box, because I know for sure, if I'm going to be transparent, I fucking hate social media, but it's a necessary evil, right? So what I did was I utilized it for the up till where I needed it. And then after that, I maximized my local network. So when I say local network, I'm partnered with the local supplement company out here. They give me 30 referrals a month because I support their business through my clients. So 30 referrals coming from people that go directly to a supplement store, the easy warm sell for me, right? My wife's in healthcare. I'll go do free 20-minute seminars. I get 15 referrals off of that because I know their CEOs. I know how to maximize their return on investment, have people take less sick days, and then their employees want to reach out to me as well. So I'm really utilizing the people that I have in front of me first. And then anything I get online is like icing on the cake, right? So I'm also marketing to their pain points. So for me, I market to high-level executive men 35 to 50. Think about what type of problems those men have at 35 to 50 that are high level. Probably pretty bad eating habits because they're always working and they're constantly on the go. Not very active fathers or partners or husbands. So if you're not home to help with the kids, your wife starts to resent you. When you are home, that leads to less intimacy because she already resents you, right? So for men, we're powered by money, power, and sex. You take one of those away, we have a problem. So I show men how they can maximize their optimal performance through in the boardroom as well as in their personal life to get them to where they feel like there's more of a balance, right? So I speak to their specific pain points, and immediately, if you can solve someone's pain point, they're willing to pay really whatever you want in order to have that no longer be an issue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. All right. Makes sense.
What other questions do you got?
No. How many people sign up for this and then don't follow it through all the way?
That's
'Cause
a
like
good question.
the thing that I worry about is if I would actually go through with this, I'm in summer right now, which is very different from fall and spring. So
For
once
sure.
August 15th hits, my life is very different than it is now. So how long is the program and how many people pay all this money and then fail?
So the program itself is going to be 4 months long. Okay. Again, you're going to have all that support, all that community aspect, private Facebook group, the whole nine. As far as how many people sign up and are not successful, I will tell you, we've helped almost over 3,000 students. And with that guarantee, we've only had to return 1.6%. So there's going to be individuals that maybe didn't hit 10K, but they also weren't doing the bare minimum expectations, right? So to hit that three times investment guarantee, we're talking about attending your game planning call, which you should do if you're investing that type of money. Attend all of your one-on-one coaching calls, which is only 2 per month. One group support call each week, which is only going to make you a better individual. Run a scholarship program within your first 90 days, which is only going to get you a lot of people out the gate. Charge at least the bare minimum suggested price of $250 or more. No late payments. Pretty simple. If you do all that and show up and just do exactly as outlined, step by step, you can't fail. The people that are failing aren't willing to do those necessary things. So I always say, you probably know this as well as a professor, you know which students are really going to be successful because they got the 3 C's. They're coachable, they're committed, they're consistent, right? Consistent means doing the things day in and day out, no matter how they feel. And they do those things with the attitude as if they love it, even if they don't. Committed means I'm not interested, I'm committed, which means I'm going to take action based upon where I see myself, not my current circumstance. I'm going to do this. It's a non-negotiable. Coachable means I'm not going to get butthurt when they give me, reasons as to why I need to change something. It's pivoting, implementing new change, and then, taking action on that. That makes sense?
Yeah, totally.
Does that kind of similar with what you experience with students as well? You can kind of tell who's putting in that extra reps and who's not, right?
Yeah, some are just going to college, some are just in college. Like there's a big difference between whose parents have forced them to be there and then who here in mind later.
Yeah, 100%. So think of this course like you would when you're training a client, progressive overload. It's just small, subtle changes that amplify long-term results.
Got it.
So it's not a fast track thing. It's really based upon your own convenience and your own schedule. But we do have timeframes. We have those coaches to hold you accountable. We're giving you resources. We're ensuring that you have the proper guidance and you have all the tools. What you do with those tools or lack thereof falls on you. And that's kind of the beauty of this is a lot of individuals will come and say, I want this because I'm tired of working at a job where I got looked over for a raise or I'm not earning based on my effort. Well, then when you get them on the sales call and now all of a sudden they're like, hey, this comes down to if you treat this like a career, you'll get paid like one. If you don't, you're going to get paid like a hobby, right? So a lot of individuals have a hard time holding themselves accountable because now it takes the blame away. So if you're really good at implementation and execution, you don't have any problems.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. I'm curious to know more about this program and why it would be so successful.
Yeah, 100%. So that's what we're about to dive into next, because literally we're going to take you from ground zero all the way up to scaling up to 10K. Now I know financially that's not like a major goal of yours, but we have to have a certain barometer or number before we elevate you to like mastery level. Okay. So we're essentially making sure we have a product, we're fine tuning that product, we're showing you how to like get people engaged, how to nurture relationships, sales psychology. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to be good at sales. You got to learn to love it, and you got to be able to step out of your comfort zone, right? Part of the comfort zone, as you mentioned, is social media, like maybe not being in front of camera. But if you want to impact a lot of individuals while increasing your overall revenue, it's going to be essential. You want people to feel like they can resonate with you. They start with you because your level of expertise. They stay with you because they feel like you're a trusted friend.
Right.
So we show you different ways on how to maximize each platform. So each platform is going to be different. 35 to 50-year-old men, I don't pull from TikTok. I don't use it. If you're 50 years old and on TikTok, we got problems, right? The majority of the people that I'm pulling from is off of Facebook. It's an older demographic, right? And then I'm also pulling from like local areas. So a lot of my guys are high ticket car salesmen or CEOs. I'm going straight to their office and having conversations, and I have a large referral base. So my average retention right now is over 1.5 years. So I already have predictable data every single month. And then what I'm just doing is I'm only giving them limited selections. A lot of trainers, a lot of coaches feel like they got to negotiate their prices to get someone in the door. I don't negotiate. It's kind of like Lamborghini doesn't have commercials. People just know they're a good product and they know where to go get them, right? There's not a sales on Lamborghini or Ferrari. So I want you to think of yourself like that. So you're a professor, you got 16 years in the game. We're not going to negotiate. So for instance, a lot of trainers will go 3, 6, 9, whatever different options. I go 4, 8, 12. When I first started out, it was 4, 8, 12. So 4-month, 8-month, or 12-month package. That's all you'd get. That's your options. Okay. So to give you an example, how this would look like would, if you want to go 4 months, it'd be $450 a month. Obviously, I'm trying to do a paid in full, but if they don't, it's equivalent to $450 a month. They did 8 months, it'd be $375. They did 12 months, it'd be $350. That consumer sees that number going down, they get enticed to go to that 8 or 12. Like 95% of my clients were like at the 12-month mark. Like BS you not. Now, shorter, temporary for them, but I'm getting a longer payout and I have more predictable data. So at 4 months, I developed a whole habit style change. At 8 months, I've developed a physical transformation. At 12 months, a whole lifestyle change. So at 8 and 12, they no longer view me as a coach or an influencer. They view me as a trusted friend, and it's hard to say no to a friend, especially if they're getting them results consistently. Then as they stay with me and their term starts to end, I don't have those weird conversations like, hey, do you want to continue? It's, say, for instance, you're my client. Hey, Chris, super pumped. I know we're about a month and a half away, from our next phase, not you quitting, but your next phase. I want to give you some insights on what I've been working on. So immediately in your brain, you're like, whoa, I'm not even close to the end yet. This guy's already got my next phases planned out based upon specific data and success metrics. Immediately, you're going to get excited because you're going to see that change in the programming. What do you think, man? Are you pumped or what? Yeah, cool. So I was like, so what we're going to do is we're just going to lock in. Of course, you're going to say, yes, it's not one of those, are we going to do this? It's, hey, let's lock in, boom. Chris, since you've been with me for so long and you continue to invest in yourself, I'm going to give you a month for free, or I'm going to give you X percentage off. Now, all of a sudden, you're a high-level client. You see that I've already been planning you out specifically, so you feel like there's more one-on-one intimate conversations and connection. 2, you're going to go back and tell your friends, I've been with this dude forever. I literally would pay him anything, and he's giving me a free month of coaching because I'm staying with him. So now my retention goes up yet again. My referral bonuses go through the roof. So I say, hey, Chris, man, by the way, if you know a couple of individuals like yourself that are very ambitious and that want to reach that next level of optimization as a man, shoot me a couple names, man. If you feel like that this is going to be a game changer for you, they'll do that without me even telling him that, hey, man, by the way, we need to change out your payments this month. For what? I'm all caught up. No, man, you gave me like 10 people, and out of those 10, 7 closed. So I'm going to go ahead and give you another 2 months for free. Now, all of a sudden, they're incentivized to give me referrals all the time without me even having to ask, right? High-level CEO men or high-level men, period, like to be told what to do because they're telling individuals what to do every day. They want to be able to take a break from that and be shown and have something be an example, versus them constantly having to do that for individuals. So a lot of that right there is just mental psychology on like how we can like maximize those relationships, right? Does that
Makes
make sense
sense.
so far?
Oh yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Cool. Cool. What other questions you got for me? And then I'll actually dive in and show you exactly what we got going.
I got nothing right now, but
Cool.
yeah,
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see this.
yeah, I got you.
Okay, cool. So we mentioned this earlier. We're actually trying through the Better Business Bureau. Again, a rating of an A out of a possible A plus. And those 3 large certification companies are providers. So for instance, if you had NASM, that's going to be continuing education credits as well. On that success ladder, we're going to have 2 tiers. We're going to have 10K accelerator, we're going to have mastery level coach. Now, an individual such as yourself who's got some skin in the game, multiple certifications, we're going to start off with the 10K accelerator because right now we're just starting to build our online platform. The information in this course is geared specifically from 0 up to 10K in as little as 4 months, if so desired. Now, mastery level, when we're hitting about 8 to 10K on a consistent basis, we can be eligible for mastery level. That's where we're looking to like fine tune everything, learn how to lead leaders, how to make hires, when to run ads, and essentially become more of that CEO. Okay. Now,
Do people
go ahead.
100K a month?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Do people actually make 10 to 100K a month? Like that sounds ridiculous.
100%. And you'd be surprised some of the individuals that do it. When I first got in, I used to have the connotation you have to look a certain way or have to have a certain level of experience to be able to get that happening. It's all based upon people being able to relate to you. Like at the end, I have testimonials. I have multiple testimonials of people that are hitting 10K a month, and it happens relatively fast. Like again, our average student that does hit 10K, it takes them 13 weeks on average. And it's all it is execution.
I mean, you know, it just like if you're sitting in my seat, like that sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%. So just like a lot of individuals, if you're talking about charging $400 a month for services, a lot of individuals be like, man, $400, there's no way people are paying that. Oh, there's a way. I was charging people $150 a session just for in-person training. So think about all the things that you're getting online. So $400 a month, it's $100 a week. Divide $100 a week by 7 days a week. That's equivalent to $14.29 a day. The average American is spending 8 to 12 on Starbucks. So for us to actually give them customized nutrition, customized programming, which changes weekly based upon their check-ins, how to reduce stress, how to track these different metrics, right? And have accountability and a laid out guideline for them. Is $14 a day really that much? No, you're getting a return on investment. If people who don't invest in health and fitness inevitably invest in their illness tomorrow, right? So would you rather pay $14.29 for an extended period of time to, become the best version, or do you want to pay monthly for prescription pills or to go see a doctor for an hour and have to be seen for 10 minutes? So it's really based upon your perspective on and what your priorities actually are, right?
Right. Makes sense.
Especially if a lot of these individuals have tried multiple coaches and they're not getting the results, it's usually because they're investing in what they go off of cost. So if you're making your decision completely on cost, you're sacrificing quality. If you're going on quality, you're going to pay a higher premium, right? So yes, I could easily say $6,500 to $7,300 is a lot of money. It absolutely is, but we're showing you actually how to start, scale, and run your own business so you have the skill sets to do this. Individuals would go to other companies, and some of these companies would do some of these things for them, lead generation, all that. The problem is when those companies sold out or went under, that individual didn't know how to do any of those skills on their own. So therefore they were virtually useless and they lost all their money when they actually didn't have to start over from scratch. So we've had individuals like, man, yeah, it was going great, but I didn't know how to do any of these things on my own. If you don't know how to do any of these things and you can't constantly hire out, you're enslaved to somebody else. And you really don't know what price points you should be paying because they can just come up with any number they want because you don't know it. You don't know how to actually do that skill, right?
Right.
Cool. So our program is really broken up into 4 phases. We like to get people, their clients first before we even start to talk about building a solid business foundation. Then we talk about generating leads organically. So again, free, low cost, utilizing the newest software, do these things more efficiently, develop sales and client retention strategies to help you reach, sustain, and surpass 10K per month. Now on the support side of things, we mentioned this earlier, you're going to have that assigned a one-on-one coach. You're going to have your customized game planning call to review where you're at, where you want to be, the most efficient way to get there. Every 2 weeks, one-on-one coaching calls very similar to this. revisit the game plan, make changes, receive feedback, get specific instructions on what you need to execute. Then when you're averaging about 2 to 3 Zoom calls per week, you complete the sales module. We'll introduce you to your own sales coach. Again, that's going to be someone that can teach you the psychology behind closing, how to overcome those objections, and how to maximize your overall return of investment. Bi-weekly roster group coaching calls, 5 times a week of group support calls that accommodate your current schedule. So objection handling, client delivery, marketing, mindset, lead generation, even case studies as well. 24/5 tech support, so you can text your coach as much as you'd like. They're contractually obligated to answer all of your questions. And then this is a game changer. Becoming a fitness entrepreneur is exciting, but it gets overwhelming. So we created what we call the Zenpreneur method. We help with weekly mindset calls, breath work, meditation, journaling, just to constantly ensure you're in a good headspace no matter where you're at in that point of business. Resources, you're getting the full course curriculum, you're getting that Zenpreneur method. You can probably attest to this as well. This is a game changer. Done for you programming saves you hours of time each week. And then we also give you agency outsourcing options when you're ready to make specific changes or enhancements to your program. And for those individuals that don't come with a certification, we actually help them with that. We have our own online certification at no additional charge, help them feel more qualified and provide legitimate recommendations. 4 phases to get you to 10K. It's really simple. 4 phase. Phase 1, act first. We're going to launch our business. We're going to announce to the world who we are, but we're going to implement specific strategies to get your first couple clients. Phase 2, we're going to set up all your backend systems, make sure you're a fully legal company, identify what problems you solve for individuals. Based upon that, we'll help you create your offer. Phase 3, we're going to talk about creating organic marketing. So we'll utilize ChatGPT, AI to help you do these things more efficiently, how to maximize your overall reach. We'll help you understand how to utilize WhatsApp group for our community lead generation method. And then we'll also teach you basic sales funnel creation to close down deals more easier. Phase 4 is like the fine tuning, maximizing your sales skills, building consistent client delivery systems, but emphasizing customer support and client retention to keep people happy for longer periods of time, and then get them to advance to higher levels of your program. Any questions on that?
Nope. So far, so good.
Cool. This is our course, 32 total modules. Each module has an overview link, also associated with videos. So we talked about strategies. Here's the first step to becoming full-time. We have 3 different strategies that we implement. A lot of this resource we provide for you are already done for you, so we're more efficient with our time. The 10K Accelerator Directory, I want you to view this as onboarding material to help you become a better student. It really shows you how to maximize the program to its fullest capabilities. The Success Roadmap is going to break us down into 2 phases. What do we need to do to get from 0 to 5K a month? What do we need to do to get to 5 to 10? So very specific expectations there. And then based upon our specific goals, we want to create daily and evening routines to amplify that. Fear of failure, anxiety, imposter syndrome. These are all natural, normal feelings. We teach you how to overcome that to move forward with your overall business. And then we've also identified, the top 10 struggles you'll face as a fitness entrepreneur, but we've provided solutions to each and every one of these as well. Administration systems and ChatGPT is where things get interesting. We'll show you how to utilize ChatGPT. If you haven't utilized that yet, it's like Google on steroids. It's like a really easy way to do things in a fraction of the time. We'll show you how to set this up for payments for Wave and Stripe, DocuSign for client. We have Trainerize, and again, a true coach that we utilize to upload all of your programming, all of your nutrition to make it more convenient for your clients, even customize the videos. Financial systems, we break it down. We show you how to set up your LLC, get your employment identification number, when to open up a business bank account, how to track what's coming in and out of your business, when to pay quarterly taxes, when to pay yourself. All of your business legalities are set up through here. The cool thing is, if you're to set up your LLC the traditional way, it takes 2 to 3 weeks. We're partnered with an AI company. It takes 2 to 3 minutes for all your business legalities to be set up. So we're a lot more efficient and convenient. We can move forward. Target setting, we're going to create your 3-year vision, your 1-year vision, your 3-month vision. We'll deep dive into your goals. And then from there, we're going to figure out what problems you solve for individuals. Based upon that, that's when we create our offer and pricing. So understanding the value that you bring, is this going to be a more do it for you, do it with you, do it yourself program? The more that you do for individuals, the higher the ticket offer. That high ticket offer is established upon your length of terms. So we help with the overall structure of your pricing there. And then organic marketing, we're going to show you how to do 1 hour's worth of work, get 14 different pieces of content generated out of that by utilizing some AI software. So again, all about efficiency there. We're going to show you how to set up podcasts and YouTube to maximize your overall reach. We want more people to know who you are, what you're about, and the message that you're trying to convey. And then we'll actually show you how to market for all things Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok related. So it's more than just randomly posting. There's very specific strategies and resources behind each platform. We'll go through hashtag use, page aesthetics, organization, reels, storylines, really how we can maximize every single platform. Do the same thing for TikTok as well. From there, we're going to move into content creation made easy. We'll introduce you to Canva Basic, Canva Pro, Microsoft Designer. Again, all about organization, page aesthetics, really good for branding. And then our 10K lead generation framework starts off with earned media. I want you to think of this as like inbound marketing, or people raising their hand to reach out to you first. We'll give you specific strategies and resources to get people enticed to want to come to you. A really great example, cross-pollination. Maybe you're partnering with another coach or a fitness influencer. Their audience gets to see who you are, your audience gets to see who they are. We can expand our overall reach. Everyone loves free resources. Click here for your first 5-day HIT program. Scholarship strategy is my favorite. It gets people really incentivized to want to sign up with you. You get their personal information. It's easy to follow up. Opposite of this would be conversation and calls. We talked a little bit about this. Utilizing your local community first, reaching out to those first. And then from there, if you're going to go in the DMs, we'll give you specific scripts. We'll give you conversation and call examples. But we're actually going to show you where to find all these leads on all 3 platforms, and how to build and nurture these relationships. Have more intimate one-on-one conversations by filtering them through our WhatsApp group. So that way they've already talked to individuals that you service. So by the time they get on that sales call, they feel like they already understand you and know who you are and what you're about. From there, we're going to go into referral strategy, probably the easiest way to grow your business. Friends, families, coworkers, ex-clients, talk about how amazing you are. We'll show you resources and strategies to incentivize them to bring you more referrals without you actually having to ask. And if you're going to be a fitness entrepreneur, again, you got to be great at sales. We're going to teach you how to maximize your sales capabilities. We're going to set up 2 types of phone calls off that. The first is a meet and greet. It's like a 10-minute screening call, trying to identify if you really want to help this person, if you can solve their problems. That will lead us into the closing call. This is where we're trying to lock them down as a specific lead. We'll give you specific scripts. We'll give you our entire objection handling web. We'll teach you how to create down sells and discounts. Financing options will be a game changer to get people in the door, and then how to lock them down once and for all. Once we lock them down, we want to go back and we want to track all this. We want to track how many calls were booked, how many showed, how many closed, and at what length of term. So we'll give you resources and strategies to make sure that you can do this in a more efficient manner. Objection handling is going to be all the excuses you hear in the online space. We give you over 30 different examples that you're going to hear time and time again. The more you can familiarize yourself with that, the easier it is to overcome those objections. Client onboarding by far is the most overlooked area by most coaches and trainers. Someone's first 30 days in your program. So we want to make sure we're creating standards, expectations, getting them resources in their hand within that first 24 to 48 hours. How does the check-ins look? How can we build trust? How can we keep them excited? Client delivery is going to be your bread and butter, the week-to-week process and how you deliver services. We just teach you how to do this more efficiently. We also go over communication styles and what to do if someone's ghosting you, they're not listening, they want to quit. What happens if they're doing all that, they've already paid? How will that transition? A lot of times those individuals that are doing that, they want to feel like they're a part of a larger community. Some of them want more individualized touch points with you, some want challenges. We'll teach you strategies and resources to get them to execute at a higher rate on a more consistent basis. And then from there, we're going to move into customer support. Well, how do we deal with cancellations, refund requests? How do we track it? How do we mitigate it for the upcoming months? And then lastly, we're going to move into client retention. How can we keep people in our program longer and advance them to higher levels of our programming? We'll teach you strategies and how to track that as well. Any questions on all that?
It's in depth. Who created all this? This is very in depth.
Chad. So Chad,
He did all this by himself?
Well, so he started this back. He started his own company. He's been doing this for over 10 years. He got to the point where he was generating quite a bit of money on his own. He realized his gift was, I can show other people how to become successful as well. He started his own business, I think, when he was 17. And from there, it just kind of blew up. If you actually go on to ChatGPT and you say, who is the top online fitness company, it will actually state NLCA, which is crazy because it's pulling from a plethora of knowledge off the internet, right?
Right.
The main thing here though, like literally he created all this. We have a team that constantly, the cool thing about this is this updates. So when I went through it, there was no ChatGPT or AI back when I went through it a year ago. So the course always updates as the newest versions of things come about. So ChatGPT AI is going to be a game changer in the fitness industry. So therefore it needs to be implemented in the courses. A lot of companies do not implement it or nearly to this in-depth of way. Now, to give you some context on how these videos really look, So say, for instance, you were doing, let's just go to administration systems. Every module will have an overview link. You'll click on this. So if you're someone that learns better from reading, once you click on this, this will naturally save to your Google Docs, so you'll always have access to this. But this literally goes step by step on how to do each and every one of these in written format. And then again, if you were maybe a visual learner, you click on the video. Let's just say you want to set up Wave. You click on this. It literally goes step by step. It'd be equivalent to you telling your students you have an open book test and the answers are circled and highlighted in red. That's how easy it is, right?
Wow.
Questions we got so far?
Not much. It's a lot. I will say it's a lot. I don't know who has the amount of time to deliver to this unless you're unemployed, but it sounds like a lot.
So again, if you can dictate 10 to 20 hours per week, you're in a solid spot. If you can't dictate that, we start off with just 30 to 45 minutes a day. You're still going to be growing, right? Setting up all your backend systems. For you, you had mentioned that you only wanted to get about 2 to 4K additional per month. That's easy, right? A lot of that first step, that first phase, the setup phase, and the backend system, that's a one-time setup. The rest of the time, you're spending time in phase 3 and phase 4. So again, you're not supposed to be unemployed. The majority of individuals, the large majority of individuals, are already working full-time jobs. I was working over 60 hours a week when I went through this. It's about getting resourceful with your time and realizing how much of a priority is this for you to become your own business owner? How bad do you want that additional income, right? A lot of individuals want multiple streams, but a lot of them aren't willing to do what it takes. So these calls are great to figure out, am I really fit to be an entrepreneur? And a large portion of individuals aren't made for it. It sounds great, but the amount of work, is it going to be difficult? Yes. Is it going to be time consuming? Yes. But do you know any other profession where you can go from literally starting with nothing to completely changing out how much you make in a matter of 4 months? I don't, and I've been in the game for over 15 years. I worked corporate gyms. I've managed corporate gyms. I've worked private. I've helped local gyms. And I can't tell you how I was able to double that amount literally in less than a year.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it's possible. I'm currently soul searching if that's for me or not.
Yeah.
I'm you a year ago, I guess, and I just worked for the man forever. So I don't know how much intrinsic motivation I can muster to get through all of this.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why you're going to have those coaches. So a lot of it you're going to go through. It's guaranteed it's going to happen. You could be excited for the first. It's just like anyone. Like, think about your old clients. The first couple of weeks they're really excited. They're all about it, and then month 3 they're like, shit. They're starting to get burnt out or whatever the case may be. The motivation's down, right? So it's our responsibility to ensure that you're constantly getting a different perspective. You're getting refreshed. We're giving you different resources to constantly keep pushing you forward. If we don't, and we constantly don't have the intrinsic motivation, maybe you are comfortable where you're at. And that's nothing wrong with that. But if we don't move forward, you're not going to see a change. And if you're comfortable with that, great, But if you want more and you want to achieve that additional 2 to 4K more and do it on your own terms and have that flexibility to be able to do it wherever you want from wherever me and my wife went to Costa Rica about 8 months ago. I pulled 2 online clients, not even trying. I was working out at a gym. People are like, yo, you should be doing this. I'm like, I do. And I gave them a free consultation, had my business cards on me. I was sipping a margarita on the beach when I signed them. I'm doing this from literally anywhere I want. Right? It's like, if you already have the expertise, you have the knowledge, you've already dictated the time. From what you've already went through, I don't know how many years of school have you been in now?
6.
6 years of school to be where you're at, which is awesome. So congratulations. So you've done the work. You've done 60 years of school. This will take you 4 months, less than 4 months, just to get 2 to 4K.
How much?
Client,
Sorry, this is gonna. I hope this isn't an inappropriate question to ask, but I have friends that do TikTok and they're making money off of it, and they're doing other social media things. And you know people that do like the multi-level marketing stuff, and like they're all over Facebook and social media. And for all of their friends, they're just like, it's just annoying. It's just a lot. How much of that do you see in this space? Because like I unfortunately, because of my position, I'm a lot of people know who I guess I am, and it's not like a brag, that's an annoying thing. So I try to be as private as possible and like as much as I could possibly be private. How much out there do you have to be?
So that's going to be completely dependent upon your own preference. Like I told you, I didn't really utilize until I had to, but what I chose what I was putting out there. Okay. So we live in an era where entertainment's a huge part of stuff, right? So I'm not just posting who I am as the gym guy. I'm posting, like, again, the people that I'm marketing to, the 35 to 50-year-old men. I'm showing them that I have a wife, kids, and I'm still able to have a balance with life. I'm in really good shape at 41 years old. I'm showing them these different things I do. So I'm posting a level of education to let them know that I'm an expert in my field. I'm also posting or putting in my storyline stuff that I'm doing on the weekend so they have an idea of who I am. Essentially, you want people to view your page or your story, be like, damn, if I was in North Carolina, I'd want to hang out with Chris if that was an option. That's what you want people to feel like, right? So it's not necessarily having to put yourself out there. You're just putting stuff out there that resonates with the ideal person that you're trying to service, right? So that could be as little or as a lot as you want. If you're maximizing your local outreach, guess what? You're not having to do nearly as much online stuff, right?
Got it. Yeah, because I tried to dabble in this world a little bit within like, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or whatever I've done it. So I created a separate Instagram account so I didn't have to bother all my friends and family and my other one. And I've just kind of tried to start posting some things. It's very amateur because I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm getting more comfortable with that. But I don't feel as comfortable just like putting it on my actual Facebook page and actual Instagram page, just because I don't know. It depends what I'm doing. It depends like what the content is, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. So I like that you're trying different things, but you actually want to not separate your pages, because there's people that already like you, love you, and trust you that didn't even know that you're offering that. And those are people that would probably reach out to you first, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, I thought about all that, and I think I'm just not totally committed to the idea yet.
yeah, 100%. So eventually it's just going to be baby steps to get you there, right? But let me ask you this. If it was getting to the point where you're bringing in an additional 4K, right? You're hitting that milestone, you're more efficient with your time. What would that mean for you and your significant other?
Yeah, it'd be huge. The thing would be, at the moment, the 6,500 is not even close possible. So that's the unfortunate part. Like, I believe in the system. Everything you said is great. Like, you do a great job at your job. It is a very good pitch, and the company sounds very thorough and amazing. But there's no chance that I could pay 6,500 for something like this, or the payment plans. Just financial goals that I have aside from this definitely take precedence, unfortunately, because this is something I'd like to do in the future. It's just right now that's impossible.
Nope, totally get that. That's totally cool if you don't want to move forward. But what I would challenge you with and say that, how do you know you can't afford that if we haven't even talked about different options for you? If we were paying something very minimal just to get you going and you were bringing that in, sure, could you try to figure this out on your own? You could, but then you're going against what you said. You said you want to be more efficient. You don't know what you're doing. So would you rather dabble and play around and bullshit for an extra 6-12 months, or do you want to hit that 4 months or that 4K a lot faster, right? So with that additional guidance, just like what you do for a living, right? You're there to guide individuals to get them to another level of knowledge. We're doing the same thing for you, besides the course is significantly less than a college course, essentially. If I would have known about this type of program, if this would have been offered back when I was 20, I would have foregone college and not had any debt, because people are making a killing doing this. I had individuals that I knew that didn't go to college that were personal training when they're like juniors in high school, training their friends' moms. By the time I was out of school, they already had running their own gyms. They were running 6 figures, stuff like that. This literally gives you a blueprint on how to execute, right? So totally get that you have other objections or other priorities, which is awesome. Totally get that. Everyone's different. But this type of thing would actually maximize the other opportunities and priorities that you'd be able to deal with, because you're going to have that extra monthly income. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I got a question on that. So there's monthly plans that you said, let's like, I can't pay a car payment for this. Like I already have one.
Yeah.
But based on how this 4-month process goes, are you working on getting clients from the get-go, or is it by month 3, then you implement?
No, so great question. But for context, in the very beginning, our first focal point in that 4 phases, first thing is to get you some clients. I'd rather you be overwhelmed with people coming to you versus overwhelmed with you got all this stuff set up, you got no one coming in, right? Our main focal point is to get you your first couple clients within that first week to 2.5 weeks. Right now, that average individual, it takes them 1 week to do so. 73% of our students get their client month 1, 73%. And that's the average.
Sorry, 73% get what?
73% of our students get their client month 1. On average, it's taking people 1 week. So think about all those average people that don't have literally a speck of the education that you have. It's just them following a specific strategy. We have 3 strategies that you implement based upon where you're currently at. You're already certified. We'll throw one strategy out the window. So we're going to talk about an intro post, maybe a scholarship strategy, maybe those 2 together. It's going to get you some clients, going to generate some leads off the bat. So this is one of those things where you execute as you go. You're building your business as you go. It's not where you read through all this stuff, then go back. You're getting clients, you're building financial freedom as you go through the course. And we're talking about individuals. So right now, just as a friendly challenge, you mentioned earlier, you're in a good spot. Your partner's in a good spot as well. We have people that literally have been on Section 8. We've had people that were a negative 83, 81 in their bank account, and they were able to hit 6 figures in like literally 6 months, averaging 10K collected on a regular basis. Single moms, right? So can it be done? Yeah, it's just really dependent upon how serious you are about that and where you really want to take this.
Got it. Go over the monthly plans if you don't mind.
Yeah, 100%. So if you're looking at maybe financing options, that would be a great way to go for you. We've got 3 different options, really. They're going to be kind of based upon your credit. So is your credit good, bad, great, awesome? What's it look like?
Mid to upper 7s.
Great. So we got one that I would probably recommend if you get approved. It really goes based upon debt to income ratio, all that stuff, right? But it's called Fund My Contract. What it allows that to do is we take that 7,300, we split it up anywhere between 1 to 5 year loans. Okay. So one guy got approved for like an 84-month loan. His monthly payments was like $166 a month, and there's nothing down for the first 30 days. So really, you can kind of select which one works best for you based upon what you get approved for. We've got one called Sweet Pay. It's 7,300 over 12 months. So we divide that over 12 months. It's only 5% down. So it'd be 5% of 7,300 would be 365 plus a one-time service activation fee. So on a hypothetical, it'd be 424 to get going. Your monthly payment wouldn't hit until the end of July or until the end of August. And that'd be equivalent to about $600 a month, which is you needing 2 clients. Pretty simple, right? If you're charging the bare minimum. The other one is you could go through in-house financing with us. If you just want to split up evenly without any type of down, like without like a bigger down payment, it'd just be like $730 a month over 12 months with us. If you pay out the loan before 4 months before the end of your enrollment term, you get it to 7,300. It's only 20% interest. All companies have some type of interest involved. But if you pay that off before 4 months, what's that?
20% interest?
Yep.
So
that's if you go through. That's if you go through. So a credit card right now is 18.99%. People don't bat an eye off that. But the rest of them, like again, that's a small price to pay for 3 times in your investment in 4 months. So if someone came to me and said, Jeremy, I got this thing for you. It's an investment, and you invest your money in it. It's guaranteed to triple. All you have to do is execute these steps. So all it is pass or fail. It's on you to execute these answers to the test. Me personally, I'm going to bet on myself every single time because I don't have to rely on someone else getting that outcome for me. It's just based upon if I know how to follow an instruction, right? So think about that. Would something like that, anywhere between, let's just say 400 to $200 a month, would that be worth 3 times in your investment? And then creating a massive opportunities ongoing for investments, for travel, for anything that you want to do for you and your family.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a great deal. Definitely a lot to think about. I just don't know where my motivation is right now. If it's so driven to do, because of what you're saying is basically you just got to do it. And I don't know where my motivation is as far as doing it. That's why I was kind of reluctant to get on these calls and
Yeah.
to really, because like I don't know where I'm at yet with all of this.
Yeah, 100%. So I would tell you this, and this isn't a sales gig because I'm totally comfortable with this not moving forward, but you'll never know until you actually try. There's individuals that got successful, maybe hit their 8 to 10K and they realize, ugh, I don't like this, right? But now they know how to like run a business. They could easily pass it off onto someone else, or they just stay where they're currently at and just reduce out the amount of clients. It's just extra income that they can manage that doesn't seem so overwhelming. Where you're looking for your specific goals, 4K, that's taking care of 10 clients. That's probably like less than 10 hours a week.
How many clients have you run at the most? And
Me,
how was that on your life?
yeah, the most I ever ran, I'm doing about 12 to 15K a month, and I didn't want to go any higher than that. I don't want 100K months because that involves a lot more responsibility. Our goal was to travel, spend more time with the kids. So we're hitting 12 to 15K. That's usually like right around 30 to 40 clients. And that's pretty feasible because my wife runs all the back-end systems for me, which it's already set up, but I just give her something to do. I'm probably working 35 hours a week tops at 15K, which is less than full-time. Huh?
Is that with your clients or is that with this sales job as well?
No, that's only with my clients. So for instance, I probably work about 30 to 35 hours per week with my own clients. And then I do this full-time as well. So in between sales calls, in between calls, I'll have stuff done. If my wife has a day off, she gets to work remote sometimes. She knows exactly how to run. I taught her how to run all this stuff. So we actually she's a life coach as well. She's a sports nutrition specialist. So I got this for both of us to kind of do together, kind of like a passion project, while generating a lot of income. And so on the days that I can't step up and do as much, she'll do it.
Wow. It's really impressive. It's really nice. So
Yeah,
I'm
now,
trying to get my head around like the monthly payment could be paid for as I accrue clients. It'll just pay for itself in a way.
correct. So say for instance, let's just pretend the worst case scenario, you did the one where it's 400 some down and 600 a month. If you had literally 2.5 clients a month, it pays for itself. Like 2 clients is easy. Like think about how well known you already are. Like think about the people that you already influence on a regular basis. And we haven't even touched the online space yet.
Yeah, I guess I just don't have a clue of how to do this. So I don't know. You know how easy it is. I don't know how easy it is, obviously, because you just got to take the leap of faith to do it.
So it wasn't easy, but it was easier with people as a team to do it versus me just having to do it on my own. So
Right.
when I went through it, full transparency, I was texting my coach like literally every damn hour, even if I knew what I was doing, just for extra comfort. Like, hey, I did this. Do I do this next? Like I was really good with writing out checklists, structured. Everything is structured for you. Hey, great. The first 2 weeks you executed X, Y, and Z. Now we really need to focus on this moving forward. Hey, now I really want you to spend additional time doing this. So every single time you have a game planning call, they're going over what you really did well and the areas that you totally did terrible at, right? That is a complete game changer. Having that community. So I used to go to the private Facebook community. Hey, is anyone experiencing this problem? What would you do? Right? Like you'll get a multitude of different answers. So for me, it wasn't like I was super motivated. My wife made me do it, to be honest with you. I was comfortable making a shit ton of money in person, but she actually made me book the second call in front of her, and I had to do the call in front of her to get to actually sign up because she knew I wouldn't do it otherwise. So was I motivated? No, I wasn't. But after I got myself in the door, I'm like, dude, I am saving myself a ton of time. I'm getting more sleep than I ever have, and I'm more attentive to my kids and my wife's needs. Probably should have done this sooner. That's probably my only regret. So especially at my age, I don't want to be an in-person trainer until I was 50, despite how well known I am. I would rather just do something from online that I can kind of do things on my own when I want versus going on a vacation, then having to make up all those sessions, or before I go on vacation, that was a nightmare.
Yeah. Right.
Now, if you want to find out what we get approved for, it won't be a hard credit check. It's a soft credit check if you want to see what you get approved for. And that might kind of help you figure out what option would work best for you.
Like I said, I have other things that I'm saving for. So I need like, I don't care if it costs 7,500. I know this is like terrible financial sense, but this is where I have to be. If it costs 7,500 total, but whatever the lowest monthly is probably where I'm going to have to look at if I'm even going to try to do this.
Yeah, 100%. So what I'm saying is it takes like literally 3 minutes to find out what you get approved for. So that way you can figure out what the lowest would be for you. So Fund My Contract, based off of the information you're giving me, is going to be your best bet.
Fund My Contract, you said?
Yep. And I'd literally send you the email. It take you 2 minutes to find out what you get approved for. We'd find out in like a couple minutes.
Okay.
So, all right, so I'm going to share my screen so you can see everything that I'm doing. All right. All right. What's a good email address for you?
CJKACYO.
Did you say CJ? I'm sorry.
Yeah, CJKACYON at Gmail.
All right, go ahead and check your email, my man. And again, this will not pull on your credit. It's just stop credit check.
Do I apply now?
Yep. How old are you, brother?
33.
Oh man, you got plenty of time still, man.
Yeah, I got into the academic world. I was like 24 or something like that, and never looked back.
That's awesome, man. As long as you love what you're doing, man.
I do. It's a great career.
That's awesome.
Date of birth.
That's actually, if you end up moving forward, that's something what I would market, that you are a professor. That'll drive in a ton, because you're going to have insights to what other people don't have. So you'll have a new updated information. You'll be able to share a lot of unique insights.
That's kind of a part of why I was thinking of doing this, is I feel like I don't have to prove credibility, which like if you see Instagram and TikTok and all that shit, this is like,
Oh yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that makes me reluctant to do all this, because I just feel like a lot of fake stuff out there.
100%. But I think it'd be cool if we could kind of play around with like different titles, like you're a professor or a doctor. We could kind of utilize something that's kind of catchy and memorable. And that way people want to like go to your page, and it'd be like, your weekly coaching corner or something like that you'd have. And then, also showing like you could provide different clips that you're utilizing for like different clients, maybe have a student of the week that you're showing example on how this will debunk certain myths. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be a ton of options with it. All right, it looks like I got something here.
Yep. So go ahead. You can click on what you got approved for, but don't accept anything yet.
So congratulations, you've been pre-qualified for 7,300. Okay, so it looks like 20% for all of it. 60 months would be 193. Okay. Up to basically 370 for 24 months.
Yeah, so think about this. If this is something, then now you have an opportunity to where you can always pay the thing off early at no penalty. But the other thing is now you have kind of a price point that makes more sense for you financially, and still be able to, prioritize some of the other things, your other obligations. But now you actually have an indication that this is going to be for you 4 months. You won't know until you actually dive in, right? The thing is, if you're going to dive in, you might as well have some guarantees behind that. So again, the Better Business Bureau, the accreditation through NASM, ACE, ISSA, and then the 3 times your investment guarantee. If you find out after you get 3 times your investment, you're like, hey, this is just a little too much for me. Cool, no worries there. But at least you've got something, you've made some money off it. Now you know that it works. So if there's a time where you're like, you know what, I don't want to go up to 10K. I really want to just stick at 2 to 4. Cool. You already have everything set up for yourself.
Interesting. All right. Definitely got to think about it. That's a lot of money. So we're just an academia over here. So
I hear you. So how long do you think that you have to think about it?
I had a number in my head, and now I'm seeing these numbers, and I'm trying to think if I want to reevaluate that. Like next week?
Yeah, that works. And out of curiosity, what is it in particular that you're thinking about?
Just gotta talk over with some people, and it's $200 that I didn't previously budget for, and I have other funds that, HVAC, other things that I didn't also previously expect a 10 grand payment for. So it's just kind of squeezed right now. So I got to see if, like, again, I believe the system you're selling, and I am trying to believe that you can actually get this many clients because it's such a saturated field and all that, but you sell a good product. So I just gotta think about it more than a couple minutes.
No, I totally get that. So I just want a clarification, really, because usually when someone tells me they need to think about it, there's a couple of reasons. One, they're not 100% sold on the program will get them the results they're looking for. 2, they're not 100% sold on their own ability to follow through and execute. Or 3, it is strictly financially. Or maybe 4, I did a shitty job and didn't give you enough information. They don't like me. It could be any one of those things.
No,
right?
you did great. 3 is a strong one. I don't know if I can follow through just because of my commitments and time and job. It's just kind of a beast. So that's a big one for me. Obviously, financially, that's always going to be a thing, but I do believe in what you're selling, that it could make the money as I'm paying it.
Yep. Let me ask you this: how many hours a week do you work when you're in the height of your teaching?
Now, because I've been a department head for like 6 years, I try to keep it under 40 to 35 to 40.
Okay, so give you some context. Before, I was working over 60 hours, and I wasn't my hours were unconventional. So if you get resourceful with your time, you will have the time, right? So resourceful means, when are some little plugs during the day that I can do this? On the way to work, pop in your Bluetooth. On the way home, pop in your Bluetooth. If you work out for cardio, right? There are little bits and times. I'm not asking you to add something additional to your plate. I'm asking, you had mentioned earlier you wanted to maximize your time. You felt like you didn't fully maximize it. That's what I'm showing you how to do.
I think I can do the class. It's just what the class is asking me to do is what is going to be the challenging part.
Sure. And that's where that coaching is going to come in. So when you have your game plan, you tell your coach, say, hey, I work 40 hours a week, not giving this up. It's not a negotiable. I'm just looking for some extra income. How can I generate, or what's realistic for me to generate based upon the time I have available? And then they structure a specific game plan tailored to you, no different than personal training, right? My goals in working out is going to be completely different than your goals, right? You got some individuals that want to work out and just maybe get a healthier movement. And then you got individuals that actually train. There's a major difference between training and working out, right? Training, we're more intentional. Every rest period, every breath, every repetition is purposeful, right? 90% of people don't train. They like to work out, which is nothing wrong with that. but we're actually going to have something customized for you to train you to get to where you want to be at with the time that you have available. So 30 minutes a day, we all got that, right? If I'm being honest, we all got 30 minutes a day or 45 minutes a day. So this could be something you're generating money, even the height of your most stressful part of your job, right?
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Totally. No, I got you.
So what I'm going to do is, how about I connect you on a 3-way text with a previous student? You guys can set up your own call. It's not, they're not going to sell you anything, but you can grill them on their own business, and they'll be open to sharing that with you as well. And I'll have you talk to an individual that maybe isn't a 7-figure earner, but there's someone that was successful and they didn't have the experience that you have.
That's what I was going to say. I said, is this a sales technique to set me up with your most successful student you have?
No, actually the opposite. I'd rather set you up with someone that's not 7 figures or killing it. I'd rather set you up with someone that was, I'm not saying you are, but someone that was struggling financially that doesn't have your educational background. I think that'd probably be more valuable to you than telling you someone that has a beautiful success story. I could share those all day long. Would you be open to that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, more information is better.
Cool. So how about this? Why don't we go ahead and set up a second phone call? Cool.
Right now?
Yeah, head to your calendar and see what you have available.
Oh, gotcha. I was gonna say I don't have time now, but
No. I'm gonna text you guys on a 3-way thread. You guys can figure out what works best for you guys. It doesn't have to be today. But I want to set you up between now and our call so you have more information to dial off of.
Sure.
Cool. So today is Tuesday. Are you comfortable? What about the end of the week?
Yes.
Why don't we do Friday?
Let's do Friday. I can do
Cool.
Friday.
What time works best for you?
Afternoon. Let me think. 3-ish.
Yeah. Are you EST? I forgot what time. No, you're
Yeah.
Okay, so 3-ish EST. Okay, so I'm gonna put you in here.
So you went from personal training sales into online personal training sales, pretty much?
Yeah, so my path was, I don't know if you guys got it down there, but it was 24-hour fitness down here. Then Genesis Health Clubs bought them out in the Midwest. So 58 clubs got taken over. I was the sales manager, fitness sales manager over there. I skipped over personal training and went straight into sales management. I was generating a ton. So that during that 2.5 time span, I was the top 1 or 2 salesperson for 2.5 years straight. Now, it wasn't because I was awesome at sales, it's because I believed in health and fitness is an easy deal for me to like to do consultations, get people to show them like how they need that help, because my mindset was always different. Like most trainers will go after the out of shape person, the heavier set person, stuff like that. I'd go after like the guys who are like the top notch athletes or the gym bros. And I'd do like hey man, let me get my hands on you for 20 minutes. I'm gonna show you something you probably don't know. They're like, no, I'm straight. I'm like, it's free, man. Worst case scenario, you learn something new. I'd break them off because I knew I'd have something that they didn't know how to do. Most guys suck at core work. I'm a master at that stuff. So I'd break them off. And then the people that were really out of shape would see me breaking out the most in-person in shape. And they're like, man, if he got broke off, I definitely need that guy's help. And then the guys that are gym bros, they're also the ones that talk the most. So they're like, man, you know what? I thought it was a crock of shit, but after working with this guy for 20 minutes, it's the real deal. That's how I get a lot of sales, because I thought outside the box, just like I'm doing with not wanting to be on social media all the time. How can I generate more business without me having to do the stuff that I hate? Like, I know I need to use it at a certain time, but when do I actually have to pull that out of my back pocket? So
Right.
so I went from that. I ran that, but then you're capped at an earning potential. Then I went to a private gym by a buddy who's a national level NPC coach, worked for his gym, generated a ton of money for him. And then I'm like, why am I making money for somebody else when I know how to do this? You know, a lot of trainers will go to other places because they're not good at selling themselves. I had clients all the time. So I did myself for the next 1.5 years. And then my wife was like, you need to go into online, or you need to do something different. And then that's when I found this. And then I was able to go from 40 to 20 to 10 to 5 to then I got everybody kind of transitioned over. And then now it's just the online stuff's running itself.
Got it. It's interesting.
So for you, like, even if you have like 5 to 10 clients a month, that's easy, right? That's like not like that's easy to do during your lunch break, just like 2 or 3 of those people, right? You could have that done, still generating that ongoing residual of 3,000 to 4,000 a month while you're still bringing it in with your professor gig.
What is 5 clients a month? How much is that?
Depends on like your price point. I'm going to give you the, like, based off of like the information you gave me, I wouldn't charge nothing below $400. So I'm just saying on average. Okay. So 400, and let's just say you had 5 clients. That's an extra $2,000 right there a month. 5 clients.
Is that easy?
Take work, dude. You are much more intelligent than me, based upon your actual knowledge and what you put yourself through.
You've been in the personal training field probably a lot longer than I have.
So that separates me from somebody else. There's a lot of individuals that are book smart. I was always good at application. So I always knew what certain things worked. I just didn't know insertion points and all that stuff. Because people, to be honest with you, don't care, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to get to a point to where I was dealing with people that were teaching me how to grow a business. Not like, if you ask a guy, like, what's your goals? You ask a girl, what's the goals? They're going to want, well, little waist, glutes. Guys want big chest, abs. They don't want to talk about their insertion points and all that other stuff, right? They're very specific on what they want. So I know a lot of individuals that are brilliant with that, but then when it comes to actually training, they're like a deer in the headlights. Yeah. When a machine's taken. I have a backup plan to a backup plan. If all machines were taken in that gym, I can still break someone off because I'm very creative, right? That's what it's about. Personal training is about delivering experience. It's like when you go out to a steak dinner, right? Anyone can have McDonald's. Not everyone can go to a steakhouse. McDonald's, you just get the basic service. You just come and go, you get fed, right? Both places you get fed, but one's memorable. A steakhouse, the atmosphere is different. The waiter comes to you 4 to 5 more times, fills your water up after 2 drinks. It's an experience. You're paying for a different level of service, no different than your actual training business. If you're really good with servicing people, being attentive to their needs and solving their problems, you have no issues making money. And this will, at the worst case scenario, will teach you the best skill that you'll ever have in your life, which is sales, right?
True. Yeah. I don't have any. So, I mean, I guess I can't say I don't have any sales experience, because being a department head, you're kind of the C-suite in collectively. You do the budget, marketing, you do the sales, you do everything. But I don't have what you have, like the actual sales training.
Yeah. And that's what this is going to give you.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. When you're looking at different courses and what they have to offer, most places, after you go through something, you'll have to end up going to like a sales coach. That's already built into our program. Like, I wish that would have been built in when I went through it, because that is a game changer. Tonality, different pause in like your shift in your transition, all these little tiny things you wouldn't even think of play a massive role on how to like get someone to like elicit an emotional response, right? Like to where you're having that client figuring out their own problems and basically wanting to sign up with you versus you trying too hard. Most salesmen try too hard to push the product. Me, I'm just trying to push the problem and how I can help solve it, right? I know that I have a good product, but I'm trying to show you how I can solve your specific problem with our product. So if you're like, oh man, this does check off A, B, and C, and this checks off some other things I didn't even think of, why wouldn't I do this? Like, right. What is there? What risk is there? I'm going to 3 times my investment. So worst case scenario, I'll get back 7,300. Best case scenario, I'll make back over 22,000. No brainer. That's the worst.
That again, because you said it earlier and I didn't fully catch it. So if you don't do what, you get what?
Yeah, let me actually just show you so you can see some context behind that. Okay. Oops, let me go to this. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I mean, it's way too small to actually read, but I can see that there's a slide.
Yeah, so it says 3 times your investment. So essentially what this is the written material, but you got to attend your game planning call. $10 for one-on-one coaching calls, which is only 2 per month, 1 group support call each week, charge at least the bare minimum suggested price of $250 or more per service. You have to run a scholarship program within the first 90 days as laid out in our modules. Can't spend longer than 2 weeks on the optional certification, which you wouldn't even be using, and can't have any late payments. If you do all that and show up to the what?
What's the optional certification? What does that mean?
That's if you wanted to. The optional certification was I was telling you about that we provide for individuals that aren't certified as well. It's equal parts fitness, equal parts nutrition. It's the test is 77 questions long. Got to get an 80% or better. It's open book. It's not timed. It just allows individuals to feel more qualified. So the nutrition part, like how to build a healthy plate, intuitive eating, macros, foods that reduce inflammation, stuff like that. Then the coaching aspect or the physical aspect side of things is like tempo, the art of coaching, communication styles, things of that nature, program design, right? So that's going to be more on like on a basic level, just to get people feeling confident to move forward.
Do you take degrees as a supplement to that?
Yeah.
Like,
so for instance, like you don't have to.
Sorry, go ahead.
You don't have to have a certification, right? You don't have to, but for you, you have your exercise science degree. You have multiple things that are proven. You wouldn't have to use the optional cert. It's there for you if you want it.
Got it. Okay, because I have a couple certs, but none of them say like certified personal trainer. I just let all of them kind of lapse. I'm sick of paying for them. I can get a job with my degree, so I just like I'm not paying $300 or whatever it is. So
right, 100%. So you wouldn't even need that, right? You're still doing continuing education by even teaching and being a department head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be no question on my validity behind that.
all right. I was just curious about that. So I think I interrupted you as you were saying it. It's 7,300 or whatever, and if you don't make that in a certain amount of months, they pay it back or something.
Yeah, so 3 times your investment guarantee is essentially stating. So say for instance, you want the payment plan of 7,300. Okay, at the end of 4 months, if you did everything I just laid out, you did exactly showed up to all those game planning calls, blase, put in the work. If you did 3 times your investment, you get 100% refund.
So
like,
I go up to meetings, do my calls, and then whatever the scholarship thing is. And is that including like posting daily and reaching out to random people in your phone list and all that?
So yeah, so they're going to give you the specific strategies, and then it's going to tell you like you can't just do only the game planning calls, all that. Like there's stuff that you're going to have to implement, right? So you have to complete the course to its fullest, like watch all the videos, all that stuff. But yes, there's going to be things to where you're going to want to send out a certain amount of DMs per week. They'll give a recommendation. But if you do everything as laid out, you actually execute. The only way that you're not successful is literally if you try not to be. Even individuals that don't 3 times their investment, they still made a shit ton more than what they initially came in with, right? But if you do exactly as laid out, you put in that extra rep, you put in that extra time, you're going to 3 times it. Like you have a cheat code. Someone's telling you, do this, don't do this. Like it's literally holding your hand.
Am I, this is again going into the insecurity and the private part of my personality is like, am I going to annoy everyone I know?
Who gives a shit? I did on purpose. I'm paying $7,300. I'm going to be annoying as possible. That's my. So if you're telling me I have 24/5 tech support, guess what I'm doing? I'm texting 5 days a week, even if I know what I'm doing. Hey, quick check-in. This is what I'm doing. Hey guys, this is what I'm doing. I'll take the same question I have with my coach and I'll also put it in a private Facebook group so I can cross-reference people's perspectives. That's just how I am.
Mm-hmm.
So you're paying that type of money, you should maximize every minute detail. I wasn't just going to 1 group support call. We can trust me, I was working 60 hours. I was doing 2, especially the mindset ones. I was going to like whatever I could to get that extra. I wanted to make sure I was going to 3 times my investment. Like that was my only goal. Was I motivated to be an entrepreneur? No, my wife made me do it. But my new goal was I'm competitive. I'm going to 3 times my investment. That's what they said I could do. That's what I'm going to do. Now, as I continued to be more consistent, I saw results. My mind shifted, and now I actually enjoyed what I was doing. The first time I took a vacation out of the country and didn't have to come back to 30 people that I had to double time to get back to recessions, I was like, oh shit, this is life. I can afford to take multiple vacations and not worry about making up sessions. Now I'm old, so old people, we wake up early at ungodly hours anyways. So I wake up every morning at 3:20. I go bang my workouts out. Okay. So I wake up at 3:20, I eat, I'm at the gym by about 4:30. Okay. Before I would work out in the afternoon, but I would have to wake up at like 5 to go to my first client, or 4 to go get my first client. Now I wake up early because I can take care of me first, because that sets the mood for me. So like once I get my workout in, I'm dialed in. I know I've taken care of myself. Now the rest of the day is completely focused on work and business.
Wow, that's pretty disciplined. I am not that.
Well, I'm old, bro. I'm old.
Well, you have kids. I don't.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, when you don't have kids, man, it's a different ball game. You can't afford to not have to do certain things.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, I don't have anything more for you. I don't know if you have anything more for me, but I'm interested to talk to the fellow that you're going to set me up with, and it's enticing. It's enticing. I mean, I'm less skeptical now than whenever, prior to our call. So you did a great job. And I it's just a lot to think about. It's a big decision to see, like, the 7,300 I can get over. I can get over that, but it's can I put in the work based on everything else going on? Can I devote the time to actually, I can do the calls, but can I follow through with what they're asking?
Gotcha. So what I'm going to do also is, I'm going to set you up with that individual. Okay. I'll probably send you over whoever I get you set up with. I'm going to send over a couple texts, some people I have in mind. Again, I want them to be someone that, not saying you are struggling, but someone that is not highly successful as far as a 7-figure. I want to have someone that will have some financial issues, maybe some time difficulties. So I'm going to get you set up with an individual like that. I'm also going to send you over a couple testimonials that you probably didn't see off our page. So again, people that struggled previously that are now doing something completely different, from 9 to 5s to doing this, not previous trainers. Okay. And then I'll also send you over a condensed presentation on what we went over. So that way you can we went over a lot. So that way it's a 10-minute presentation. You can just kind of see the outline, and I'll send you over the screenshots of the guarantee, the averages, all that stuff.
Sounds good.
So then by Friday, we have a better indication. Now, regardless whether you think you want to move forward or not, you might say tonight, hey man, fuck that, I'm not moving forward. Let's still jump on a call and just talk about what you saw and kind of game plan everything.
All right.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Or that sounds good.
Cool, man. So I'll send you over all that stuff here in a couple, probably like right after we got this phone call. I'll send over that main stuff, and then once I get that message, that person, I'll add us in a 3-way text thread, and I'll introduce, like, hey Chris, it's Jeremy. I've got coach such and such on here. Set up a phone call, based upon your convenience, and then on Friday you can tell me about it.
All right. I appreciate it.
In the meantime, I'll also send you over a mini course. Okay. So
in the middle of it.
You say what?
I think I'm in the middle of the mini course. I'm at the Lacey mindset part.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna let you finish that off then. And then on Friday, let's talk about all that. Cool.
Appreciate it. Sounds good, man.
All right, boss. If you have any other questions, shoot me a text, my man.